Welcome on the new episode of the Work in Progress series. Today we'll be sat here right next to the sofa because why sit in a sofa when we have a comfy floor, right? It's also a Halloween special. And well, I'm sorry about the microphone that I'm holding so close to my face. I have no way to actually attach it here because if I do, since the room is actually quite empty, there's a nasty echo and I can't fix it in post-prod. So I'll just be like this and then I'll occasionally sip some coffee. So I invite you to grab yourself a drink as well because it's going to be a longer video. The idea came from from Let's Plays that I'm watching on Minecraft. Actually, I figured that it would be nice to try this format for Shakuhachi as well because that's something that I would personally appreciate to kind of just follow someone else who's playing the same instrument as I do and kind of chill with them. And it's not something that I can do because shakuhachi is not very common here in Belgium. And I know many of us are actually quite isolated. We have online communities and there are hangouts organized on some forums and it's kind of neat, but I don't know. I like the Let's Play format, so I thought I'd give it a go here with my limited expertise, since if you just joined this channel, I'm a beginner. I've been playing the shakuhachi for something like, I don't know, a year and a third, something like that. But before that, I played about 10 years of recorder. I played a lot of flute as well, the silver flute. I've done 10 years of guitar, acoustic and electric. So I'm a musician, not a professional one. It's always been leisure. And I don't know, with the shakuhachi, something clicked beyond music, I would say. It's kind of become part of every aspect of my life in many ways. And yeah, I decided to make this online diary, this YouTube channel, not to showcase what I do, but rather to share the joy, to share my perspective as a beginner, to share the struggles, because it's not an easy instrument to learn. There's many things, many roadblocks that I bump into, and also because as time goes by, I know that I'll forget most of this. And it's actually quite useful to remember it, even just to help others along the way. So this is the reason why I'm here, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So today I'll be using my trusted resin shakuhachi. It is an old style shakuhachi, so I'm following lessons with Nick Belando. You can find his website online. And at the moment I am working on Daha. I learned it as a modern piece. My modern shakuhachi teacher is Linus. He's from Shonehead Diary School and Forum. I feel quite good about the sound of old style shakuhachi. For some reason, it's a bit less intimidating for me, so I'm sticking to it for the moment. It doesn't mean that I don't like modern shakuhachi. It's just, yeah, that's where things are flowing at the moment, and I'm just going with the flow. I've been doing this work in progress series to track progress and also to share with other beginners or proficient musicians who have forgotten what it's like to be a beginner, the learning curve and, you know, the ebbs and flows on the way, on the path. I don't know if you can say that in English. The ups and downs, well, you understand what I mean. And yeah, I normally I just record myself. It's just a snippet of the full tune, and you generally only see my hands playing, and then I put a commentary written, text over the video. And here it just, and I've been trying to do this for like a month now, and it's just not working. I think Daha is slightly above what I'm capable of doing at the moment for some reason. I can play in Otsu pretty comfortably, but playing in Can, still gets very problematic. And I thought it was a matter of embouchure. You hear about embouchure, embouchure, embouchure all the time. I've been learning so for my first year and a bit with Sean Head and with Linus, and they were both mentioning the embouchure and also the stance and the hara, the dantian. I'm more familiar with the dantian notion more on the Chinese side. And bringing it all together is still very difficult, but mostly it's because of tension in my face. I just look constricted. I think that's the right word. It's really constricted when I play. And I've been trying to fix that, and it just doesn't work. And I talked about it with Nick, my teacher in old style shakuhachi, and he was saying you shouldn't be in his approach and in the way he's been taught. You shouldn't be thinking about your mouth at all. You should only be thinking about your abdomen and about the pressure that you apply. If you apply soft pressure and just allow the air to pass through your lips, like your lips are closed like this, and then there's air coming out, and it's going to go like, that's how he was explaining it to me, and it makes perfect sense. And then when you go to the can register, which is the octave above, you're going to apply pressure like to a hose pipe. You're going to squeeze the hose so that in the case of the hose, the water that comes out is going to be more condensed. Like, there's going to be a stream. Um, in my case, it doesn't appear to be working too well. And I've hit a point where I am past the beginner level, the absolute beginner level, that is. In Shakuhachi, I'm probably intermediate, middle intermediate, and I'm still hitting that can problem. So I've been trying to record Daha, and it just never ever works because my sound breaks, my mouth gets really tired. And I remember something that Linus told me repeatedly was relax, just relax. And I think it's a matter of relaxing. I would agree with him. It's just not accessible at the moment. But anyway, I wanted to talk about Daha. And I mean, even I don't know if you're familiar, maybe you're watching this and you're not familiar with Shakuhachi. And if you're not, the music sheet is a piece of art. It's just always so beautiful. I love the writing. I'll try to show you. This is what it looks like. I just find it so beautiful. Well, yeah, that doesn't have to do with playing or anything, but I find it's a joy to look at, so I'm sharing that. And yeah, my goal for this series, for the first episode of this series, is to manage to play the first bloody line. And it just doesn't work. I have a sip of this not coffee. It's some kind of barley or don't know what in my favorite mug. Don't know if you can see this. This is Tanjiro. I love Demon Slayer. I haven't seen the movie yet. I saw that there were mixed reviews about it. People say that the images are stunning, but that the storyline is not fabulous. I love the anime. I read the manga as well. And yeah, I think I'll try to watch the movie sometime soon. So yeah, sip. Time for a sip. Don't know if you grabbed yourself a drink, but if you haven't yet, just do so we can carry on chatting. That's really nice. So yeah, coming back to Daha, I'd like to nail that first line. So it starts with a ha ra ro. I haven't quite nailed it. It's been a change to learn to play on this flute. You play it a little differently from a bamboo one, for one thing, and also the fact that it's an old style. It's not totally shaped in the same way. The utaguchi is a little different. So maybe I'm still getting used to that. But mostly it's a matter of practicing. So let's try that hara row once again, and then play that first note afterwards. The first higher note that is coming afterwards is called a we. Yes, I know. Okay, well, you get the idea. The Hara rule it went the way it went. I didn't consider a major problem. The we with the komibuki seems to break a bit, and as I think I'm still using too much air because you can hear a kind of wheezing, like extra air going above the utaguchi, which is probably not something that's supposed to happen. At least not as much, because I think with this flute, it's more like how do you call them? So you've got the flutes that have this that have the varnish in them, and the ones that don't have the varnish in them. I tell you the words a million times, and right now I've just forgotten. But this one is supposed to sound without, so more raw and a little less polished than one that's got that varnish in it. Komibuki went okay. On the last we, so you've got Hararo, and then you've got three times we, and then you've got re to re, and then a tap. And on a tap, you're supposed to stop playing. And you really have to take a great big breath if you want to make the note last long enough. And I seem to be running out of air. I didn't think I was that unfit, but apparently I am. So I need to work on my breathing as well. That's the second thing to fix. So far, three things to keep in mind: improve Hararo, get that komibuki a bit better on the Wii, um, get my notes nice and long, and then it keeps going. The next section of that first phrase goes on. I really like that part. I'm going to play it for you, or do my best at it. The popping on the chi doesn't doesn't pop enough yet. And the musicality, you can feel very much that I'm reading the notes or just applying them like a recipe that I don't really master yet, which I guess is very normal at my level. But I would like to reach a point where it flows better. And that will come with practice, that will come with time. I suppose that's the same with all instruments. When you take them pretty seriously, when you take your practice pretty seriously, patience becomes the heart of the matter. And that's very challenging at times. But I think I think it's also very rewarding once you get past such a major roadblock as this one, being a beginner. I also think that there are big advantages at being a beginner, is that pretty much anything that can go wrong does go wrong. So you're constantly improving because there are constantly details that work themselves out with your practice. So you really see the difference from week to week and from month to month. And that's something that I really like. I am quite scared to become better because when I do, maybe I won't hear improvements so easily. And I'm I don't know about you. I'm not doing this to become a good player. What I want to do is to keep playing. I think actually it's just to keep playing. I want to show up every day and play because it does good. It's really like I am not challenging myself. I know a lot of people find pleasure in challenging themselves, learning new tunes and improving and blah blah. I want to improve only for a matter of comfort. That may seem unusual, but it's just I would like it to be effortless so that I can pick up my flute whenever I want, wherever I am, and I can just enjoy it like you enjoy, a good cup of coffee and reading a book or whatever you enjoy doing. Just that. It's it's for the effortlessness of the thing and for the flow. So I don't actually mind. I know that again is pretty uncommon, but I don't actually mind playing the same tune over and over and over again because I'm not really playing for variety. I'm playing for the kind of pleasure that it provides. Mm. And I don't know if anyone can relate with this. I'd be happy to know. So please tell me in the comments. I'm trying to figure out if I can add something interesting for you. Um, well, first of all, I'd like to know what you think of this format because I find it extremely enjoyable. I find it's a nice way to hold a diary and to keep a snapshot of where I am at the moment and what I'm thinking. But the goal also is to share it with others and hopefully that they will find something useful in there. Um, if you have any suggestion, but I find it kind of nice to share this. I think I would enjoy watching someone else's video who's doing the same as this, just like I would sit with a friend and ramble about Shakuhachi for hours on end and play a bit and say, "Oh, I find this difficult, and what about you? Do you manage this, and how long did it take to for you to be comfortable about this, and what do you think of that?" And well, your usual chat with friends, and I feel that I get that little bit closer to it when I'm recording in cozy environment like this. I'll be posting some more Hitoyogiri stuff again. So I know that in the Shakuhachi world, there are very mixed opinions about Hitoyogiri. People love it or hate it in general. I'm amongst the one who love it. I think I love Hitoyogiri even more than Shakuhachi. It's really my go-to instrument when I need to tune in with myself. I have no other word to say it. Um, and yeah, I'm probably going to be doing some content in French because there's virtually nothing in French. The tragic thing is that I think that I think the Hitoyogiri has already been forgotten 2 or 3 times over history. Omori Soken was already trying to rescue it 400 years ago, and he managed for the lifespan of his school. And when his school fell into oblivion shortly after his death, so did the Hitoyogiri. And the instrument got rediscovered again a few decades later, and then faded away, and then got pulled out of whatever ceiling, whatever attic or cellar it was rotting into by someone else. And then eventually Nick arrived with a few other people and revived it once again. And he would like to make sure this time that this poor instrument doesn't get forgotten again as soon as his school is not present anymore. So it's terrible. Maybe that's because maybe it died every time because people didn't like it. I mean, maybe it's just an instrument that sounds very bad for most people. It could well be the case, but I don't agree. And if there are even 100 other people on this planet who think that it's worth remembering the Hitoyogiri, I want to make sure to contact them. So if there's even two among French-speaking people who like it, I want to reach them. So I'll be creating a little bit of content, again, just from the point of view of a learner, a beginner. And I'll be talking about what I learned in my lessons and always pointing to Nick's lessons and Nick's explanations, because I'm not an expert and not trying to be one. But it doesn't stop me from being enthusiastic about it and keeping him playing, because that's how you improve, I guess. How you make it, how you improve, how you make it flow. Coming back to what I was saying earlier. So anyway, am I going to play any more for you today? Am I going to torture you with some more music that I can't actually play properly? Yes, I think so.